Hello everyone, my name is Lance Darenti Astrologio. Today we're going to talk about unit circle. First of all, what is a unit circle? A unit circle is a circle on the Cartesian plane that has a radius of 1 unit and is centered at the origin 0 and 0. The unit circle is a powerful tool that provides us with easier reference when we work with trigonometric functions and angle measurements. The unit circle can be used to help us generalize trigonometric functions. Being so simple, it is a great way to learn and talk about lengths and angles. The center is put on a graph where the x-axis and y-axis cross, so we get this neat arrangement below. Because the radius is 1, we can directly measure sin, cosine, and tangent. Note also that you can apply the Pythagorean theorem to the unit circle.
Hi, I am Earl Legaspina from STEM 11D, and today we'll be solving some sample problems of the unit circle. So for our first example, we have 18 pi. I forgot the pi. Now, we know that it doesn't have a denominator, so that automatically means that it applies for this. And for ease of teaching, I labeled this according to letters. So we should just follow this. So 18 pi, now that we know, we should find out which of these four it corresponds to. So in order to figure this out, there are separate rules for each one, and since we know that 18 is a whole number and is even, that means that it applies for the quadrant 1 category, which is equal to 1 0. But let's not stop there. There is a given formula, and if we try to substitute it, let's try. And in order to fit it into this formula, we should divide 18 by 2. So 18 divided by 2 will be equal to 9. So let's just substitute 9 in this example. And this should be our final answer. You can check this by inputting it in a calculator, and if it comes out to 18 pi, that means that you solved it correctly. So let's head over to our second example, 97 over 3 pi. So firstly, it has the denominator of 3. That automatically applies for C, or this category. It corresponds to trigonometric points that correspond to pi over 3. That means that we can sort it according to which quadrant it belongs to. To do that, we simply divide it by 3 first if it is a positive number. For negative numbers, the process is a bit different, but since it is positive, let's divide it by 3 first. So 97 divided by 3 will equal to 32 and 33. 32.33, which is approximately equivalent to 32 and 1/3. And since it is an even number and it has the fraction of 1/3, that means it belongs to quadrant 1. Quadrant 1, which has the coordinates square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2. Let's try and input it in the formula. P 2 2n plus 1 over 3 pi. So we should divide it by 2 first, so it could fit in this formula. 32 divided by 2 will be equal to 16. Yeah, this should be our final answer. And if we input it in the calculator, it should correspond and it should be equal to 97 over 3 pi. And we also figured out which coordinate it belongs to and its corresponding coordinates. Now let's move over to our last example, negative 103 over 6. So having a denominator of 6 automatically applies it for D. And then since it is negative, we solve it a bit differently. First, since it is not a multiple of 6 and it is not divisible by 6, we should find a number close to it that corresponds to 6. That is equal to 6. So for this example, it is 108. And its difference from 103, negative 103, is 5. After this, we just copy the denominator and we can divide this side. Negative 108 divided by 6. Now that will leave us with negative 80. And then we just copy this side over here. Now that we know it is an even number and it has a fraction of 5 over 6, that means that it corresponds to quadrant 2. Quadrant 2. And it has these coordinates. There. But we should just solve this first with the given formula so we could know if we solve it correctly. So P and 2n plus 5 over 6 and then bracket and pi. So like the other examples, we first divided by 2, which will give us with 2 and negative 9 plus 5 over 6 and pi. We figured out that it belongs to quadrant 2. It has these corresponding coordinates, and that this, if we input this in the calculator, it should give us negative 103 over 6 pi. That is all. Thank you for listening.